Hello guys, this is JustSomeTechie, and while WWDC wrapped up nearly a week ago, these changes Apple is making across the board are major. Liquid glass redesign across every OS, iPadOS becomes more Mac-like, you can make phone calls directly off the Mac, call screening to weed out scammers, and of course, unexpectedly, a full-on naming rebrand across every OS Apple makes that's reminiscent of cars. So if you're interested in everything Apple dropped, stick around for a no-fluff, honest view on this year's WWDC. Kicking it off with that liquid glass redesign, as I don't know about you guys, but iOS seriously needed this redesign. Apple themselves admitted iOS hasn't changed visually since iOS 7. Liquid glass looks amazing in my opinion, and you can still do color tinting to it, light or dark mode, etc. I mean, just look at it. Even if you don't like Apple's take on glass morphic design, it will certainly inspire other companies to make their own take on it. I will always be behind that. Next up with iOS, it's modest but still welcome. iOS 26 brings call screening, which is a feature on Pixel phones where the phone itself talks to whoever is calling and lets you know who it is. You can choose to answer it or not. Perfect to help get rid of scammers and telemarketers. It also applies with spam texts, where it will section off unknown numbers from appearing in your iMessage conversations. Backgrounds in iMessage are here, and you can do polls and group chats. The lock screen now is able to adapt to empty space in a photo, and spatial scenes have a 3D effect too. A new games app, which will be home to games you have downloaded, Apple Arcade titles, and challenges between you and your friends. You can also play together, and of course use controllers while playing. Devs can incorporate single player challenges and in-game events with this app too. iPadOS 26 is finally the update for those who've been dying for a Mac-like experience on the iPad. Actual Windows management with placing windows wherever you want, have multiple windows open at once, and even tile them to the sides or corners. There's now a menu bar at the top just like macOS, and the Files app gets a serious upgrade. List view, resizable columns, customizable folders, and you can finally set default apps for specific file types. The Preview app from macOS is also coming to iPadOS, great for PDFs and images. Background tasks will show up as a live activity now, such as rendering a video. The Notes app can do 3D graphing with math notes. If you want your iPad to be more like a Mac, this is absolutely the update for you. For the fitness crowd, watchOS 26 brings some genuinely cool upgrades. There's a new Workout Buddy feature powered by Apple Intelligence. It tracks your workout stats. It gives you encouragement when you hit your goals. It can translate text-to-speech into a generative voice from real Fitness Plus trainers, so it actually sounds like you got a personal coach. The catch to all this is you have to have an iPhone that supports Apple Intelligence. You can set a music playlist or podcast to auto-start in the Workouts app when you start a workout. Notes is also coming to the Apple Watch, as well as call screening and hold assist from iOS. You can wrist flick notifications away if you're on a Series 9, 10, or Ultra 2. I don't have an Apple Watch myself, but these seem like very welcoming features. If you guys want me to use an Apple Watch and make videos on my experience with it, let me know down below. I do need to get a little more active anyway. Despite macOS also adopting the 26 renaming, it is also still named by California landmarks, and this year, it is macOS Tahoe. It is the last major macOS version to support Intel Macs, and can also spell the end of Hackintosh systems, for the very few that do that. Liquid glass on macOS Tahoe looks stunning. Like I said in the beginning, you can now make phone calls directly on the Mac. The experience will be similar to what iOS 26 is doing with the phone app. Live activities are now on Mac too, and they'll sync with what's happening on your nearby iPhone. Spotlight Search got a serious upgrade, new filtering options, smarter relevance, and even support for third-party cloud drives. Can you remember exactly what you're looking for? Spotlight can scan through the content of your documents to find it. You can now perform quick actions directly from Spotlight. If the action ties to your iPhone, it'll automatically launch iPhone mirroring. Super slick. Of course, like iOS, it features the new Games app, and macOS Tahoe will feature the Metal 4 API for games. It offers Metal Effects frame interpolation and denoising, like Apple's version of DLSS or FSR. Also worth noting that the Journal app will also be on macOS and iPadOS now too. Lastly, visionOS and tvOS didn't get a ton of new things, especially the latter, but I'll still make note of them. visionOS supports 180 and 360 degree content from Insta360, GoPro, and Canon cameras. You can actually use PlayStation VR 2 controllers with the Vision Pro for games. Spatial widgets lets you have widgets of things like photos, the weather, calendar, and music in your environment, like having a digital frame floating in your space. Look to scroll is really nice to have. Spatial scenes make spatial photos more realistic, generating multiple perspectives, and feeling like you're there. I just wish Apple made a cheaper Vision Pro headset, as I feel it's a very small niche of people who actually use it. tvOS saw minor changes, like poster art tweaks, FaceTime updates like iOS, and sing-along sessions with Apple Music. Interesting, but nothing major. That concludes this WWDC event. I think personally the liquid glass redesign across the board is going to be fantastic and will inspire other companies to attempt their own take on glass morphism. The design of Windows Vista and 7 will live on in the modern era. Let me know what stood out to you the most about the event in the comments. I'm JustSomeTechie. Catch you on the next one. See you then.